So when I was operating in dysfunction these last couple of weeks, I realized that the numbing and suppressing was really limiting my spiritual capacity.
Okay.
And I was the op. What I was going through, I allowed that to put me in a place to be the opposition.
You recognizing that in your humanity you are not perfect,
Mhm.
you are broken,
Mm-hmm.
and acknowledging that in the presence of God is where you can find peace and you can find healing in the fullness, and you can expect for God to do something. If you present yourself to God perfect and having it all together, what does he have to fix? With me having to relearn, reprocess, rethink what sex was, that was like taking a part of my identity away.
Just because you may need to seek help or you may be in transition and things may not be right, it doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is bad.
Marriage is a roller coaster ride that never ends.
From the twists of having children, to the turns of overly involved parents, or the highs of buying a new home, to the lows of unexpected lifestyle changes.
Marriage is dope, but let's be honest, fam. Marriage really be tiring.
Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast, hosted by Jazz and Spoon.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It is the Left Hand Gang.
What up, gang?
Hey, girl, how you living in these streets? You living all right? I'm living a little bit all right. Just a little bit all right. You ain't pull your mic up. Just, yeah. Oh, man. It's been a crazy last few days for your boy. But I've been, it has been. Just mentally thinking about a lot of things, processing a lot of things, conversations and stuff that you and I have been having. And, just waiting on God to do some stuff because I feel like he finna. I just feel like he finna.
Dog. I've been feeling that fintu for about maybe a week and a half,
Okay.
2 weeks.
You feeling the fintu?
I'm feeling the fintu.
Yeah.
I like that.
Feeling the fintu?
I'm feeling the fintu.
Yeah. For real though.
I was just about to say no, but for real,
But
I
for
really
real.
am.
Hashtag feeling the fintu.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. What about you?
Same exact place.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess we can kind of go this direction today, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm coming out of a place of numbness and frustration.
Mm.
And because I've been feeling the I just hit my face on the mic. But because I've been feeling the fintu from God,
Yeah.
but ain't nothing happening.
Yeah.
And the two ain't manifested yet.
Yeah.
So
It ain't.
I've been sitting with that.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And I really feel, and y'all, we going right into it, by the way.
Let's shout our
Yeah.
sponsors.
I was just gonna say we going right into it, but Light with Purpose, love y'all. Light Gang, 15% off.
They just released a new scent too.
Okay.
For fall. I don't remember the name of it, but it looks very pretty.
All right. So yeah, new scent there, and Icy brand, Icy Gang, promo
Yeah.
code 10% off. Get you some gear. I know he running low on inventory for that last drop, so get yours while you can. And I'm sure he got a fall collection coming, so y'all be on the lookout for that. It's
Ooh, I'm
Icy
excited
brand,
for
Icy
the
brand.
colors.
Yeah, the fall colors.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's gonna do his thing with that.
He probably is. Shout out to homie Rands. So we were talking a second ago about, just kind of where you are and what you've been walking through, what have you. And you mentioned like your flesh, and you just trying to, I don't know, figure out what that is. And it was you said it was a couple of different things that was all stemming from like one thing and whatnot.
Mhm.
So what was that all about?
Well, I didn't get that revelation of what I was talking to you about until after. Let me just go back.
Okay.
So the past couple of weeks, I have been forgetting things a lot. And I remember we had an episode where we talked about that. And it was on the other end.
Yeah.
You were sharing that. But I cannot remember stuff. haven't been putting things on the calendar, and my mind already is busy. I think that's a woman thing. You know, we talked, I think I was maybe in a post or something. I talked about having a lot of windows open in our minds as women, but mine have just been overlapping. It's like I had multiple browsers and multiple windows open
You
at
got
the same time.
Safari and Chrome
Yeah.
open and Firefox all open at the same time.
Yeah, and so I think if I would have allowed myself to feel what was really going on, I would have felt overwhelmed. But I'm looking back and I'm realizing that I wasn't feeling anything. I was just going and just doing the things that I needed to do. And on the surface, I was happy. I wasn't happy. I was content. But when I really break apart what was going on during that time, I was actually unhappy. But I wasn't allowing myself to even address that, to feel it. I didn't even want to think about it. I was trying to stay in the moment, taking care of the things that I needed to do, right? And when I was talking to you, I got all of that revelation. What is today? What's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
So I think Monday night, as I laid on the floor, crying out to God, pouring out my heart, the side of my bed was just drenched. And when I stood up from that, I felt lighter. I didn't feel better because my situation was over, but I felt relieved because I finally said what it is that I needed to say to God. Even though I knew God knew what was going on and how I felt, I just hadn't said it. And I hadn't said it because it wasn't politically correct. If I had said it out loud, it didn't sound good. It's not how I should have been feeling.
Right.
And yet just saying it made me feel a lot better.
So I'm curious, what'd you say?
Some of it I'm not going to disclose on here today, but there will be a time where I believe that I can.
Okay. You ain't got the release.
I don't have the release yet.
Okay.
But some
That's
of
fair.
it was just my personal feelings towards some future outcomes that are in the near future for us. Some decisions that we're having to make. And there's some things that my flesh just genuinely doesn't want to do. On top of that, we already talked about this part. I also had to be real with God that I'm frustrated because you haven't operated in my timing. I've been feeling the fin to, and God, you even told me that you fin to, but you ain't done the two. So I'm really irritated because I've been encouraged, I've been trusting, I've been faithful, but I'm in the same place.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's worse, not knowing what's to come or knowing it's right there. I just can't. I just need you to just give me a little push. I can see it. It's right there.
Yeah.
But I can't get to it. And I was upset with him because you haven't done it in my timing.
In your timing.
Yeah.
No, that's real. And I just had a very quick perspective on like the analogy you just said, where it may be close and we can't get to it. And maybe it's because we're not supposed to get to it, but it's supposed to come to us. And so we know our pace, but we don't know the pace of whatever it is that God is trying to bring to us. And so we have to have a respect and an honor, I guess you would say, for whatever it is that he's bringing our way. And it's crazy. I was thinking about when I was getting set up. It's very funny. I was thinking about the church and how, I see the church growing and all these other things. And then I was like, wait, because I've been also studying Spirit of Absalom, because I got to preach that tonight for Bible study. But I was like, wait, if the church starts growing really, really fast, I don't have the capacity to deal with the spiritual warfare of the people that may show up. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit myself down and be and develop myself and strengthen my spirit and everything. And so all that to say, there are things that I believe that we're supposed to have, but we're not we're not supposed to be running to those things, but allowing God to bring them to us, and we preparing ourselves for it. Because why am I chasing after stuff when I should be chasing after God?
Yeah. You're
Why
right.
am I reaching for things when I should be reaching toward him? And in my reach and my pursuit to him, he'll give me the desires of my heart. Not the desires give me, or God give me to the desires, but he gives the desires, he gives them to us. So I'm really feeling just a big perspective shift on where we are, what we're going through. Situationally, nothing has changed. Literally, nothing has
Nothing.
changed. But
The
we
only thing that
have.
has changed is we feel the fin too.
That's it. That's what I was
Literally,
gonna
that's
say.
it.
The situation has not changed, but we have.
Yeah.
We've grown. We've developed. Our pursuit for God has changed. Our intensity toward Him, our studying has changed. I mean, our prayer life, everything within us has changed.
Mhm.
Situation and circumstances have not. And there's so much beauty and humility in that, but it sucks.
Oh yeah. You asked a question. Why are we chasing after the desire or whatever word you use there instead of chasing after God? And I'm going to be real, because I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because I'm not chasing after God. I really feel like I'm trying to do both.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel stripped in the middle, torn two different directions.
Yeah.
And I'm frustrated because I can't reach it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get it.
It's real.
And you taking too long, but I'm still trusting you, and I'm
Trusting
still
you.
running after you too. So that's my honest answer to that. I was having a moment, and I think what was making my moment worse is the fact that I didn't acknowledge that I was having a moment to God.
Man.
I acknowledged it to you, but I also acknowledged it to you, thinking, well, not even thinking, but I had this unspoken expectation that you were supposed to fix it and help me to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And when I communicated to you where I was, you didn't do anything to help. But I'm not gonna say you didn't do anything to help. You were there. You gave me perspective. You listened. You were supportive. You've given me space. You haven't hounded me. You didn't shake your finger at me, but you didn't fix it. So
I wish I could have.
I was still.
I ain't have it, cuz. I ain't have it.
I was still in this funk, but not allowing myself to acknowledge it, because the one person that I need, or one place I needed to go lay that at, was the altar of God, and I didn't. And it caused me to just operate in dysfunction.
Man. And so you're just functioning.
Yeah.
Literally just functioning.
Yeah.
Functioning and not feeling. How many of us have been in that place?
Up until Monday, that's where I was. And honestly, I really felt that saying that says it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that, and I felt peace about that. When I got up off the floor physically, I still felt like I was on the floor.
Yeah.
Spiritually. But I had peace when I was getting up, because I knew that was temporary.
Yeah.
That God was going to lift my spirit off the floor. But I really didn't feel that everything was perfect. I just had this peace and this comfort to physically get up and allow myself to feel the things that I was feeling and know that that's okay. And as Christians, I think we're so quick to tell somebody, you need to feel better, or, God's going to do it. God gives us the desires of our heart, or, we throw a scripture at them, and we expect people to always find their hope in God, never acknowledging the human.
Yeah.
We just focus on what you should do. And for once, I allowed myself to be in that place and say, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not saying it's right, but this is where I'm at. And I think I said that to you. Don't try to force me to get up off the floor. This, what's the word?
Metaphor.
Yeah, metaphorical floor. Don't force me to get up. I will get up, but I'm saying this is where I'm at right now. And God will meet me where I am. Isn't there a scripture that said, I don't know where it is, but God is with us in our lamenting. So he's present, and he feels what we feel. He's sitting right there. He is acknowledging. He's not dismissive of how we feel. I know that I'm not going to be there forever.
Right.
God knows that I'm not going to be there forever. But sometimes I need to sit there for a moment.
Yeah, even with Jesus, the Bible says that he mourns with those who mourn,
Yeah.
and
Does it say he mourns, or he says tells us to mourn with those who mourn?
well, mourns with those who mourn. But whenever we look at Martha, Mary, or is it Mary? One of them, when Lazarus died,
Oh
he began to weep. Jesus wept with them too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and all of that and what you just said, that's just us being broken before God.
Bro, I didn't even realize this. That's Christ being formed in you.
Mm-hmm. Because we're to present ourselves to God broken.
Mm-hmm.
Broken in our spirit, broken in our minds, broken in our behaviors, broken in our patterns, broken in any way, shape, or form. We have to present ourselves broken. Now, that doesn't mean that you break yourself and then go to the floor of God or go to God. But you recognizing that in your humanity you are not perfect, you are broken. And acknowledging that in the presence of God is where you can find peace and you can find healing in the fullness, and you can expect for God to do something. If you present yourself to God perfect and having it all together, what does he have to fix? What does he have to heal? What does he have to give wisdom to if we already have it together? So literally presenting ourselves broken. I ain't got it all together. I made dumb decisions. I have attitudes. I'm moody. I'm manipulative. I be stealing sometimes. I be lying. I kind of sort of listen, but I really don't. So I'm disobedient. Like presenting ourselves as we are, broken to the Father. And hate to say this, in order for us to do that, we have to recognize our imperfections and be honest with it, and be content with being imperfect. In the society that we live in, we have to be perfect. We have to be ready. Stay ready so you never have to get ready. You have to save X amount of dollars because you don't know what's going to happen. Invest in this or make preparations and plan and read these 5 books and you'll know how to be a deep thinker and be a philosophical speak. Like all of these different things that we try to do to prepare ourselves to overcome adversity whenever it comes. So we can be perfect or so we can be straight when situations come. The storms of life are going to happen. But yet and still, there's nothing that we can do there's nothing that we can say or do that can give us the peace or the fullness or the healing that we need other than presenting ourselves broken to the Father. That's the key. And recognizing our imperfections, recognizing that Jesus is not only our Savior, but he is also our Lord. Hello. A lot of us love that Savior part of Jesus.
Right.
But that Lord part, like, I'd rather be in control. You can save me, though.
Right.
You can save me. I appreciate that, what you did on the cross for me, dog. I appreciate that. But that Lord stuff, I don't know if I want you to reign and rule over
that
my life.
accountability.
Yeah, I'm good
okay.
on that.
I got
I'm
it.
good on that. I'm good on that. So recognizing that we need him as Lord and Savior over our lives, it creates a space, creates opportunity for us to present ourselves broken to God, knowing that we won't be judged, knowing that we won't be taken advantage of, that we won't be left, that we won't be ignored in our brokenness. Man, oh God. I was watching I saw something on the ground. I think it was yesterday. Jack Hill Perry. She goes hard, by the way. But she was preaching a sermon, and basically what she said was the reason why a lot of times we run away from God or we shy away from God is because we've made him into our image.
Oh.
And so because with us making him into our image, we know that we shiesty. We know that our feelings and emotions waver. We know that we make bad decisions. We know that we might not show up. We know all of these imperfections within ourselves. And so when we make God into our image, we also portray our image the behaviors of our image onto God. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, girl, stop cussing at the saints and ain'ts. Because that is so real. So when we say, like, Lord, I trust you, I believe you, I have faith in you, in the back of our mind, we like, yeah, but I wouldn't.
That's so true.
Lord, I know that you can heal this person, blah, blah, blah. But then we start thinking, yeah, but they've been smoking their whole life and they ain't been doing this right. And, they overweight and ain't been eating right. They've been taking care of their temple. But we praying like, yeah, Lord, heal them and do this. But we in the back of our head, because we've allowed our humanity to fuse with our spirituality. We've been too practical, you know what I mean? We're being too practical a lot of times. And I'm not saying that practicality isn't real or it's not valuable, because it's extremely valuable in how we walk out our faith. But faith doesn't make sense, because now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith does not always make sense. And so we can, if we were to allow God to just be God without imposing our humanity on his godliness, then we would really begin to see change. So I had to share that.
That was
powerful.
good.
It was very powerful.
It made me think about this piece that I was working on Procreate, and it was true humility allows you to ask yourself the question, am I really the op? In other words,
whoa. Say that one more time.
True humility allows us to ask ourselves the question, am I really the op?
That's powerful.
And that hit me when God gave that to me and I was constructing the artwork for it. I was thinking about Christ being formed in me, or Christ being formed in you, and what we've been talking about, and how if you can't see the imperfection in yourself, if you can't check yourself, if you can't call yourself out, or even just acknowledge, then how can you be submitted unto somebody else? And that I say submission to God, but also to leadership.
Yeah.
In the workplace, at your church, because if you can't see that and you can't even acknowledge that, then how can you be healed?
Yeah.
How can you? What's going to stop you from spewing that out on other people or using that to your advantage and not allowing God to go in there and heal those areas, and or even just pinpoint those things so that you can be even more broken? Because I think we run from that.
Yeah.
That feeling doesn't feel good. You know that feeling when you get called out, you realize, like,
like, bro, why you in my business?
Right. But we need that.
We need it. We need it.
We really need that. And I think that in this culture, I think that we'll call you out in this culture, but not with love, not with grace.
Oh, yeah, we're calling you out to make you look bad so I can look good for calling you out.
Right, because I saw it and I pointed it out.
And I saw it first. So I got to let everybody know that I did it first because I saw it.
Yeah, that part. And I had to realize, I did not make this connection until just now. So when I was operating in dysfunction these last couple of weeks, I realized that the numbing and suppressing was really limiting my spiritual capacity.
Okay.
And I was the op. What I was going through, I allowed that to put me in a place to be the opposition.
Lord.
Wow.
Whew. We had to let that simmer.
Wow.
So you were your own op.
I was. And I think what is really dope about us having this conversation right now is that I don't feel like I'm at 100%. That was Monday. It's Wednesday. I'm not miraculously better and fine. I'm encouraged.
Yeah.
I am hopeful. I do feel that God picked me up off the bathroom floor.
He did.
but I'm still waiting on the Fentanyl.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that moment allowed prayer on Tuesday to be
Mm-hmm.
so much more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of what I took care of with God on Monday, I was able to show up spiritually for others on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just got all that right now.
Wow. And we thank God. But I love those moments that we have with God because they're so fulfilling because of the revelation that we get. And it's crazy because it's revelation about you.
Yeah.
It ain't about nobody else,
Mhm.
what other folks are doing wrong. And so when God
What
reveals
other folks are
you to you,
Woo.
you can't run from it. You can, because you've been found guilty.
But people do. And I wonder
Mhm.
about that. I wonder how you're able to. I think it's maybe because we decided to sit in that Christ be formed in you chair
Mm-hmm.
that I can't get up. I don't feel
Mhm.
that I can run from it. When God shows me something about me, I want God to show it to me before I do something even worse, you know,
Mhm.
before I impact my marriage or before my apostle has to call me out. I want in an intimate way to be shown that, you know,
Mhm.
before God has to put my behind on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you can run from that.
Well, because now we're looking at different, I guess, levels of maturity with your relationship with God. Because you reach a certain point with your relationship with God when you start, Lord, show me me.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, reveal me to me. Lord, how can I become better? How can I do this? And you asked that prayer. You prayed that. You petitioned the heavens for that revelation on how you can become better, how you can become stronger. And I'll even say it this way. Whenever we say, Lord, give me wisdom, you're asking God to present problems for you to solve. And sometimes those problems might be your cousin. It might be your mom. It might be your dad. It might be your spouse, or it might be between those relationships. And in those relationships, you might find that you are the problem. And so that's one of the many ways that the Lord will reveal to us who we are within the context of these relationships. So in those moments is where you decide, do you want to finish the answer of your prayer, finish the answer of your request, or you just gonna leave it right there and say, nah, I'm good, and continue to blame other people, continue to shame other people, instead of sitting under the light that you asked to be under. Lord, give me revelation. Do you know what revelation means? It means the uncovering of something. Whew, nakedness. You can see something in its fullness that includes you. That includes us. And so when we walk in when we walk into those spaces of revelation, or petitioning God for revelation, you don't be surprised at what you may find, because you may find some things and learn some things about yourself that you didn't even know was there,
Mm.
because you've been uncovered because of the revelation.
That makes sense. My question, what I'm asking, it depends on the level of maturity of the
Maturity.
believer,
Mm-hmm.
which I think I knew that, but
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
And for individuals, some people don't ask for it,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is funny. Some people don't ask for revelation. It just kind of shows up when certain people are calling them out or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Bruh, ain't no way I act like that. Ain't no way that that's me." And they deny. Why? Because their hearts aren't necessarily prepared
Mm-hmm.
for revelation, and then they ain't asked God for it. So since they ain't asked God for
Yeah.
it, they heart ain't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And and many people, they run from the conflict. Oh nah, that's weird. or that doesn't make sense. That's not me. I didn't say that. I didn't think that. That was never my intent. But you still acted that way. And again, it all goes back to the level of maturity. And some people just aren't ready to grow. Now, when I say people, I'm talking about believers,
Hmm.
talking about Christians. Now, just to be clear, because some of us we want to halfway grow. We want to grow and stay the same. I want to grow and be comfortable with it.
I was just about to say, I want to grow and be comfortable.
I want everything in my life to stay the same, but I still want to grow. You can't have one without the other.
Hmm. That's well said. That makes sense. I'm just replaying some of the things that you just said,
Mhm.
and especially that growth piece. We, as believers, we don't get to an arrival until we leave this earth.
Yeah, we never get there
And
until we
so
leave
there's
here.
always growth that
Yeah.
should be happening. And I think that a lot of that growth is going to come from being submitted under somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say being submitted under somebody, I mean people at your church know your name.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go 3 weeks in a row without coming to church, and they calling to see, hey, you still good?
Mm-hmm.
You still go here? But like, hey, we got this going on. Thought about you. Will you be able to serve? Oh, hey, I'm praying for you, or hey, let's get together, or hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Like, people are looking for you,
Mhm.
and your leadership knows you. You may be at a mega church, but whoever you serve alongside, you know what I mean? Or whoever it is that you sit with often or you talk to often, they're looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you don't have that, when you're removed from those types of environments, growth is limited
Yeah.
because growth is just whoever's at your house or whoever it is that you see often,
Mhm.
your job. It's limited to a very small group of people in a place, and oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes it's separated from your spiritual growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in this day and age, with streaming being so popular and so convenient, I think we see that a
Mm-hmm.
lot more in this generation because I think we've seen a trend of people falling off from
Mm-hmm.
being in church in person, and even I would say falling from the faith.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, but I think it's becoming there's becoming this disconnect because we do have this virtual way of
Mhm.
attending church, and I think that you can grow by watching virtually. I do believe that you can get material, but I think that there's a cap to that
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you were talking about growth and being comfortable, sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, we just got to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If your job permits you to be in the house of God on Sunday, my personal belief is that you got to get there, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And you need to be in the house, and once you are in the house, you find a place to serve that you know you're supposed to be at. Pray about where you can serve at in the church, what ministries you can serve in and volunteer and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll even add to that, like streaming. Just to kind of hit on that, it's not that streaming is bad.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, right. I know. I'm just wanting to be very direct.
Mhm.
It's not that it's bad. However, we can get comfortable with just that.
Yeah.
And so, there are, I mean, many ministries. There's more to do, there's more that pertains to that ministry than just Sundays and Wednesdays. And some, you have discipleship groups, you have small groups, you have other committees that would permit you to be to being more involved, if you were to walk in that, or take that up. And so, um because there are people who prior to COVID, where all they did was just go to church on Sunday. They didn't do no discipleship the other 5 days, 6 days of the week.
Mm.
They didn't do no Bible study or anything, or meeting up with people or just fellowship
Mm-hmm.
the other 6 days of the week. So, just because, people don't show up, maybe your job may not permit it, but what are you doing the other 6 days of the week
Yeah.
outside of streaming? Yeah, you streaming, cool. Now you getting coffee with a friend and y'all talking about what happened in 2 Samuel. Like, or are you talking about the sermon that you heard on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all breaking it down and looking at the different scriptures? What have you? Fellowshipping with one another. Or just, man, how you been living? How you doing? How was your week? What is testimony service? Something. What has the Lord done for you this week? So that enables you to grow even more. Because a lot of people, we watch the sermon. All right, cool, that was good, and then
That was good.
we gone about our day.
We don't think about that sermon ever
Ever again.
Ever.
Ever again.
Couldn't even tell you what some of the verses were
Right.
that were used. I'm
Mhm.
guilty of that too. I'll
Yeah.
be at church on Sunday, and by Tuesday, I ain't even thought about
Yeah,
Sunday.
what happened Sunday?
But I have been in my word.
Mm-hmm.
I have been fellowshipping with God. I've been doing something to making a sacrifice to be with God. And I think that reminds me a lot of what our apostle has said is there has to be a sacrifice.
Yeah, it has to be a sacrifice.
To receive, there has to be this exchange.
Mhm.
And we get really comfortable with, I don't know how we got here. I think God took us here.
Mhm. You did.
It's my bad. But we get really comfortable just sitting on Sunday or just receiving a word on Sunday.
Mhm.
We think that our relationship with God is limited to just Sunday in the day.
Yeah.
And really, nowadays, Sunday is practically an extension of Saturday because
Mhm.
of the way our weeks go. The
Yeah.
work week is crazy.
Mhm.
The hours are crazy. You can be working anything. And if you have children, Sunday is the one
Yep.
day. If your kids do sports, if you are involved in anything, shoot, if you just went to a birthday party or went to go see your family, Sunday is the one day,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But there has to be a sacrifice.
Yep.
We sacrifice for everything else.
We do.
And I think that I know that the sacrifice that we make for God, we get to see that. Just like we see the result with anything else we sacrifice for.
Mhm. Yep. So, so all of that, it revolves around our flesh, what we decide to do,
Mm-hmm.
what we decide not to do, what we choose to invest our time and attention towards, and vice versa. So, just you talking about, just the funk that you've been in and whatnot. What is it like? What is it feeling like to, I guess, be out of it or to come out of it?
For one, I can think clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize how conjumbled. I don't know if that's a word.
Conjumbled. Huh.
I think I just made that up.
That's a word of the day.
Confused and jumbled up.
Conjumbled. Conjumbled.
Yeah, I didn't even realize how conjumbled my mind was. I was thinking about 50 things all at one time, and I felt out of breath because I was trying to do all 50 of those things while I was thinking about them so that I wouldn't forget, because I kept forgetting to do things. And I feel like I can slow down physically, mentally. I feel that I can breathe and that I can make peace with not seeing what it is that I want, but knowing that it's still coming and I see that funk as another thing that strengthened my relationship with God.
Hmm.
Because in it, I wasn't thinking about that. But now on this side of it, I feel closer. It's like you tell a secret to somebody and they actually kept the secret and you feel closer to that person. I shared this with God and I didn't feel condemned. I didn't feel, put down. And I'm encouraged.
Well, that's good.
Thanks.
So, how do you feel that impacted your marriage?
You tell me, because between Monday night and now, have I been different?
well.
I'm still in not complete la la land, but I'm still kind of like flowy, just like but I'm not weighed down and conjumbled like I was. Because I was like la 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 before, but now I don't know if any of this is making sense to anybody that's listening, but I think you understand what I'm saying. I feel that it has impacted my marriage because I can be more present. And I feel that I can communicate better, and I don't have this strain. There's not this underlying tension that I don't know if you knew what it was or if I even knew what it was, but it was there, and it was like, that little thing that just keep buzzing around you, when you swat at it and it go away for a little bit. I don't feel like it's there anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely felt it. And I knew what to do. Shut up and pray. There was nothing that I could say or do that was going to change it. And I had to let my pride down and just be that. And so giving you the space that you needed to do whatever, because I ain't know you was laying before the Lord and you was barely getting off the floor. I ain't know none of that. I just knew that my wife wasn't here. That's all I knew. I just knew she here, but she not. She's somewhere doing something and probably talking to God about it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to God about it too, but just in case. But outside of that, I'm just all right, fine. It's not fine. Kimberly didn't tell me that it's not fine. It's not fine. So I managed. I managed being a single husband. But it was challenging because I'm trying to figure out, it's like playing double dutch. It's like, when do I go in? Okay, when do I get out? Is it time yet? No, it's not it. And there were a couple times I jumped in and I messed up the rope and I was like, God dang, let's start all the way over. Dang. So being patient and being aware of just what to say, what your needs were, and not even asking you to do, just doing stuff, just picking up the slack, and again being prayerful. So that's what it was like for me.
I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, when you're married, you gotta be. Yeah.
I've been on that side too before. So.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of live over here.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So, yeah. Anything else before we close up?
I'm good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. It was a pretty cool freestyle episode.
Yeah.
We double dutched it. But I think it was good. So, man, as always, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Again, be sure to hit up our sponsors like With Purpose and Icy Brand. Get you some merch, get you some candles, all of that good stuff. And we will see y'all next episode. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and rate us.
And lastly, please don't forget to check out our website. That's lefthandgang.co for merch and ways to stay connected.
Catch you next episode.
Gang.